Hi, I'm Tim Galloway, and I'm an ACA kayak instructor. Now I'm going to talk to you today about how to get a nice, efficient forward stroke. Now the first thing we need to talk about is how to hold our paddle. Our hands should be a bit wider than our shoulders, and that just so happens that if we put our paddle on top of our heads, we get a nice 90-degree angle right here. So when we're paddling, pretty much in any situation, we want to have what's called the paddler's box out in front of us. And the paddler's box is a box that's formed if you draw a line between your elbow, your hand, across the paddle shaft to your other hand, up, and then between your elbows. And when I'm paddling, this box wants to stay out in front of me. You can imagine you have a beach ball sitting on your lap. And so that way when you're paddling, you're keeping the paddle on the outside of the beach ball. So with the whole point of the paddler's box is to keep your arms from collapsing when you pull back. You gotta remember that forward paddling is all about rotation and not pulling. So if you keep your paddler's box, you don't collapse your elbow. You can see this. But if I were paddling with a more inefficient stroke, I may be pulling back with my elbow, like this. This is not right. Really work on that rotation, keeping your paddler's box in front of you. Now, a helpful hint is to imagine you tied a piece of rope or string between your elbows. And so this way, the string can slide across your stomach, but try not to bend it across your stomach. This will really help keep your elbows out in front of you. If it starts to bend across my stomach, that means I'm pulling my elbows too far back while I paddle. So, when we're paddling, it breaks into three simple components, easily remembered by the acronym CPR, which we are already familiar with from other things. Now, the C stands for the catch. The catch is when you catch the blade into the water. The P is the propulsion, and the R is release. So let me break those down. So with the catch, what we're gonna do is we're gonna already pre-rotate our shoulders. The power in kayaking does not come from your arms, it comes from your torso and your torso rotation. So I'm gonna rotate a little bit the other way, reach out, I'm gonna catch right here. And see, I have the paddle blade up at a nice angle, and I'm gonna rotate my body through the propulsion phase, rotating my entire body while I'm doing so, and then I'm gonna release. So then, when you start to link them together, get a nice, smooth stroke. Now, if the forward paddle stroke were all just your upper body, we'd be done already, but it's not. You actually get a lot of your power from your paddle stroke from your legs and your lower body motion. So, let's talk about that. Okay, so I'm seated how I want to ideally be seated in my kayak. I'm going to have my legs kind of bowed out a bit so they're under the thigh braces in my kayak. Hopefully your kayak has thigh braces. If not, this technique will still work as long as you have foot braces. The foot braces are the most important. So I have my heels kind of coming together. The balls of my feet will be on my foot braces. And so that way I can push off of them to help facilitate the rotation of my upper body. So with my grip in the right position, I'm going to prepare for the catch. So I'm going to push off of my right foot right at the beginning of the propulsion phase, and that's going to help rotate my body all the way around. And then I'm going to start pushing on the other foot, my left foot, when I start to rotate on my left. So it's a full body motion that really gives you the power for paddling. That'd be so great if I actually had a clear kayak to show you all this on the water, but this will have to do. So if you want to really test to make sure you have a good, powerful, efficient stroke, try towing someone. That's one of the best tips I can give. Because if you're towing someone, you're using a lot more energy. And if you're using a poor form, you'll get tired quickly. Basically, if your arms start to get sore while you're paddling wrong. One thing I hope you noticed is that when I'm paddling forward, I don't have a death grip on the paddle. In fact, when I'm in my propulsion phase, I even open up my top hand and I alternate. You don't want to be tense and tighten up like a spring the entire time. You want to be gentle and loose and fluid. So far all we've gone over is how to go forwards. Now going backwards, the technique is exactly opposite of how we go forwards. So our catch is now going to be behind us, our propulsion is going to be towards the bow, and the release. And you notice I keep my elbows out in front of me, keep my paddler's box nice and strong, and it's all in the rotation. Well, I hope you learned something from this little tutorial. I hope you take a little bit more skills away from it. I had a fun time doing it for you. Now, always remember that kayaking is inherently dangerous. The water is not always forgiving. So always wear a life jacket, always dress for the water, and always tell someone where you're going. Have a good day. Okay, alright, well, welcome. Alright, so if you're not sure that your forward paddle stroke is efficient yet, and you really want to